Hello, my name is Kathleen Ennis, and today I'll be presenting on test administration and analysis. This presentation will focus on best practices for test administration, methods for analyzing test results, and different approaches to student test review that enhance learning. Assessment is more than just giving a test. It is about creating the right environment, analyzing data for fairness and accuracy, and providing students with opportunities to learn from the experience. In this presentation, I'll discuss administration and integrity, analysis of the test results, and strategies for assessment. Student seating is more than just where the student sits in the classroom. An adequate physical environment must be provided to the student to make them feel comfortable. This includes proper lighting, ventilation in the classroom, and temperature control to keep them comfortable. The room should be quiet with a door that closes to limit the outside distractions, and a clear sign should be posted to ensure that no interruptions during the exam happen. These environmental conditions support focus and maintain test integrity. At their desk, students may have a laptop for taking the exam, which will be utilized with a security exam system, a bottle of water if they prefer, and then gum or mints will be provided to them if needed. This can help soothe students during exams. In addition, there will be optional aromatherapy for stress relief. These items help reduce anxiety and support the student performance, while still protecting the integrity of the assessment by limiting unnecessary or unapproved materials. In order to minimize distractions and maintain fairness, all belongings will be placed at the back of the room rather than the front of the room. That way there is not a visual distraction for the students as well. This prevents students from accessing unauthorized material during the test, and their cell phones will be silenced in the back of the room in their bags. Only the specific test items already reviewed will be allowed at their desk. Student accommodations are essential for ensuring equity in testing. Examples include extended time, quiet spaces, large print exams, or assistive technology, which would be written in a student's IEP plan. By making these adjustments, all students have a fair chance to demonstrate their knowledge while the overall standards of integrity are preserved. Students should be comfortable disclosing this information to the institution and making students aware of relative services that the institution offers. In addition, proper documentation to all of the students' professors will be necessary so that it can be followed through all classes and semesters. Once the exam is complete, results should be carefully analyzed. This involves using measures of central tendency such as the mean and the median to understand the overall performance. For example, if the median shows a positively skewed distribution, this could mean that the test was difficult for students. Measures of variability, including the range and standard deviation, also help show how spread out the scores are. Score distributions can be graphed using histograms, making it easier to see patterns such as whether most students performed well or struggled. These methods provide valuable insight into the effectiveness of the test. Beyond overall performance, individual item analysis should be conducted. This looks at each test question to determine whether it was too easy, too difficult, or failed to discriminate between high and low performing students. Item analysis ensures that each question is doing its job in assessing learning, and it provides guidance for revising the exam in the future. This data is collected over time. Important values include the p-value and the PBI. A PBI that is 0.7 or above would be considered a very good test question. However, below 0.2 would be considered weak and might need to be rejected from the exam. One statistical analysis tool that we use is the KR-20. This formula measures internal consistency reliability for tests with right or wrong answers. A high KR20 value, typically above 0.8, indicates that the test items work together consistently to measure student knowledge. However, a low KR20 suggests that some items may be flawed or inconsistent. This statistic helps determine whether the test is dependable as a whole. Reliability and validity of the tests are also highly important. Reliability refers to the consistency of the test scores across different administrations. On the other hand, validity asks whether the test actually measures what it is intended to measure. To establish both, educators can use pilot testing, perform item analysis, and gather expert reviews of the exam content. Together, reliability and validity are essential for ensuring that an assessment is fair, accurate, and meaningful. Student test review approaches are extremely important. This can assist with student engagement and help the overall success of the student. Test review is not just about going over answers. Test review can look like test-enhanced learning, which helps with retention and transfer of knowledge. Interactive gaming can be used to assist with test preparation, and then pre-exam reflection can assist with success. Each test review method has its benefits and limitations. Test-enhanced learning can improve long-term memory and successful retrieval of information. However, the disadvantages include that the student must read or are lecture-based, which can lead to a loss of student engagement. Interactive gaming is also an engaging and fun way to review material, but it may take extra time and resources for the professor to create. In addition, a laptop or phone must be required for all students, which can lead to added distractions such as incoming text messages or phone calls. In addition, there may be Wi-Fi interruptions, which can cause a delay in exam studying. Lastly, the pre-exam reflection is a helpful tool to manage individual study habits. However, it does require for the student to have self-awareness and motivation to improve their habits. Understanding the advantages and disadvantages helps instructors select the right method for their current cohort of students. In summary, test administration requires careful attention to the physical environment, student seating, and accommodations for each student. Test analysis involves using statistics like measures of central tendency, variability, and the KR20 formula to ensure fairness and reliability of the exam. Student review, whether through learning tools, gaming, or reflection, is key to reinforcing knowledge and improving performance and outcomes. Together, these practices support valid and equitable assessment for all students. These are the references I use for this presentation, including peer-reviewed articles and textbooks based on educational assessment and test analysis. Thank you for watching.